Protecting your peace is not selfish, it's survival. And the truth is, most of us don't suffer because we do not know how to set boundaries, but because we don't know how to stick to them. In today's video, I'm going to share how you can set emotional, digital, and time boundaries that actually work so that you stop pouring from an empty cup. Hi, my name is Pearl, and on this channel, we strive to live intentionally. Actually, I wish I could change that intro around to say, Hi, my name is Pearl, and I'm addicted to allowing people infringe on my boundaries when I know that only leads me to serious burnout and apathy. I used to be addicted to saying yes to everything, answering calls and messages at any point in the day so that I don't necessarily miss out on anything, scrolling down people's profiles so that I stay updated with whatever's going on. And then later on, I would wonder why I was feeling so exhausted and drained and resentful and disconnected. It was not until I realized that peace is not something you aspire to or set as a goal. Everyone already has peace, the inner peace that God gives us. Peace is something that you protect. And it was only until I realized that peace wasn't just going to happen to me that I began to live my life in a way that I felt lighter and more intentional. I know once a lot of people hear boundaries, they have like PTSD from it because people have used boundaries as a cover for their wickedness. Some people are just mean. They don't like other people. They don't like being of help and are very, very selfish in nature. So they come under the canopy of, oh, I'm just setting my boundaries to hide their wickedness. Those are not the people that I'm talking about today. I'm talking about those who honestly care about people but want to give their lives a bit of balance so that it doesn't necessarily feel like the care and kindness that you want to show people ends up emptying you or hurting you or making you feel drained. Those are the people that I'm talking to today. You see, boundaries are not walls, they are bridges. They don't disconnect you from your community, but instead they help you connect in healthier ways. I personally think that there are three areas of your life where setting boundaries can completely change everything. Those three areas are your emotions, your digital life, and your time. So without delaying you, I'm just going to jump right into emotional boundaries. For years, I attended and stayed longer at events that I didn't even want to be at. I responded to messages even if my body and everything in me was ringing, telling me that I did not have the emotional bandwidth to do it at that time. In summary, I was a people pleaser. What was the result of this? I felt drained, I felt resentment, and I felt disconnected from myself. And maybe you felt that too. Let me tell you the problem when you do not set emotional boundaries. Many people, and I can relate to this because I'm one of those people as well, are emotional sponges. We take on other people's problems, we feel guilty when we can't come through for people, and we struggle with saying no and feel guilty when we do. But let me tell you something today. If the bag that you're carrying through life is filled with other people's problems and other people's emotions and other people's pain, where's the space for yours? Saying no to people is not rejection, and you have to stop seeing it that way. If anything, it's redirection, redirecting your energy where it truly belongs. I know it's difficult, especially in situations where you feel like you're this person's only hope or they won't be able to find help elsewhere. But I promise you, as I started to practice setting emotional boundaries, I realized that if you can't come through for that person today, that person will always have a plan B. God loves his children and he's not going to leave any single one of them stranded without giving them help. You feeling like you are the only vessel that God could use to bring help to that person is just that, a feeling. It's not fact. And if you didn't help that person would still get help some way, somehow. It was very difficult when I started saying no to just say no outrightly. So a hack I used to use was push whatever I'm saying yes to a more convenient time for me. That was how I started the negotiation process of setting emotional boundaries. Oh, Pearl, could you do this, please? I will kind of need it right now. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm capable of doing this for you, but I can't do it until next weekend. Right? So I would push this thing to a time that was more convenient for me so that I can plan towards it, both mentally and emotionally, prepare myself towards the actual thing. And so that when that time comes, it doesn't feel necessarily like I forced myself into a situation, but rather that I've prepared to allocate this time and this energy to this person or to this project. So that's the first hack I'm going to give you when it comes to setting emotional boundaries. If you're someone who struggles with saying no, don't say it bluntly. Just say, yes, I can do this for you, but I'm only able to do it next week. Start from there, and maybe from there you can progress to the point where you can actually just say no and then maybe refer someone else who you believe might be in a better position to handle it. The one thing you have to know for sure is that managing other people's emotions is not your responsibility. In the words of Prophet Ashake, just know this and know peace. The second type of boundaries I want to talk about today is digital boundaries or social media boundaries. You see these devices, your iPhone, your iPad, your laptop that you use just for work? These things are the biggest thieves of our peace. Between the constant notifications that beep from the several apps you have on your phone, to the doom scrolling, to the comparing yourself to the people that you're seeing online, no wonder you feel restless. No wonder you feel exhausted, and no wonder you feel disconnected from reality. Your phone, social media is only a tool or a resource to you when you learn how to control it. Without boundaries, my dear, it is controlling you. I'm going to share with you the 3 tools that I've used to set social media or digital boundaries in my own life. The first one was to set screen time limits in certain apps that I knew were notorious for me. Some of these apps for me were Instagram, TikTok, and shopping apps. I could be on a Fashion Nova or on a Shein or an ASOS for 3 hours and not even know where the time had gone. So I knew the apps that were particularly problematic for me. And what I did was go to my settings on my iPhone and set screen time limits, maybe 30 minutes a day or an hour a day on these apps. And this made a huge difference in the way that I was consuming social media. Another thing that I did was create no phone zones. In my bedroom, I would always tell myself, like, the moment I pass the socket towards my bed, my phone has to leave my hand. I cannot touch my phone once I'm in my bed at night time. And what I did to sort of replace that silence was that to get like hardcover books that I could put on my bed so that it would be somewhat an exchange where I would drop my phone and I would take the book that I was reading during that time and I'll just read that till I fell asleep. And this really helped me set boundaries with the way that I was using my phone at night. So you can create no phone zones, like when you're at the dinner table or within an hour of waking up, I don't want to see my phone or I don't want to play with my phone. What these small things do is that it teaches your brain that you don't have to be on your phone all day. The small act of creating no phone zones can completely transform how you see your phone, how you approach the digital space, and how you approach social media. The third practical tool that I used when I wanted to start creating boundaries for how I was using social media was auditing my social media feed. I've already spoken about this extensively in the video that I did, and I'm just going to put that up here. So if you want to go and watch that video where I explore how to curate your digital world in a way that fuels you and motivates you rather than drains you, then please click on the video. What is key to note is that your inner peace is way more important than staying updated with what is going on social media. I have a friend that takes social media breaks. Sometimes she goes a month without Instagram. All of these things work to build that disconnect, which is very necessary so that your phone does not control you. The last type of boundaries that I'm going to explore in this video is time boundaries. Overscheduling was the most difficult area in my life that I struggled to set boundaries. I would plan my whole week, Monday through Saturday, and there will be no time scheduled for rest. And guess what happened? I kept burning out and I wasn't showing up as my best self because guess what? This is not a machine. And even machines need rest. If not, they start to wane over time. We need a substantial amount of rest for our bodies to function at optimum capacity. I've said this on this channel before. Time is one of the most valuable resources given to us by God. Every yes that you say to something is a no that you're saying to something else. So before you say yes to that appointment, to that project that you've been asked to take on, ask yourself what no's you'll be saying just to say yes to that thing. Many times, what we're saying no to is rest, the dreams that we aspire towards, our health. Those three things are very expensive no's. One of the practical tools that I used when planning my week to ensure that I wasn't overscheduling was allocating something that I called expendable energy hours. So every week, I've designated 15 hours for additional activities that I can take on when asked. Once those 15 hours have been run up, then I'm so sorry. I can't attend that event. I can't be there for that function. I can't take on that role and I can't take on that project until the next week. This meant that I was only committing to the things that I realistically had energy for. I also made sure that when I was scheduling my week, I was leaving rooms and margins for rest in between. I was ensuring that every single day I only allocated 8 to 12 hours of activity so that I could use the rest of the time to do things like exercise, eat, replenish my energy, meditate, and rest my body and my mind. The third practical tool that I use to set time boundaries that completely transformed my life, I got from another YouTuber. I can't remember the YouTuber's name, but I'm forever going to be grateful for this hack, and that is to always give yourself 24 hours to decide if you can do a thing or be somewhere. Someone has asked you to show up to a function or to do something for them or to take on a role for them, maybe babysit their kids. Just tell them, hey, can I get back to you my decision tomorrow on this? And use the 24 hours to decide if you have the time, the energy, or the capacity to show up for that person in that way. That pause, that pause is when you realize that, okay, that time that person has asked you to show up for something, you already had something else scheduled, or you're already going to have a long day and you won't have any time or energy left to show up for that person. That pause is revolutionary. That pause will change your life. Protecting your peace is not about being wicked. It's not about being cold. It's not about being rigid. And it's not about being unavailable. It's about creating the best conditions in your life so that you can thrive. When you are realistic with yourself and you honor your limits, the people around you that you care about will always get the best of you. When you don't, and you're answering every call and every text message, you're attending every single function and showing up every single time you're called upon, you get burnt out. One thing that I realized when I started setting my boundaries are the people who really care about you, they won't mind that you're setting these boundaries. In fact, these are the people who are going to respect your boundaries because they want what's best for you and they want to see you at your best. So let me ask you, what boundaries are you setting this week? Time boundaries? Emotional boundaries? Digital boundaries? Drop it in the comments below because declaring it out loud is the first step to ensure that you stick to it. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more intentional living every Tuesday. Together, we're going to build a life where your peace is not up for negotiation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday. Bye.